Hi and welcome back to the cottage. Today I will be sharing the mindsets that I use in my minimalist home that help me keep it clean and simple. I've been a homemaker for over 20 years now. It's something that I take great pride in and something I find joy in doing. But I also know that it can be, well, a lot. Caring for a home can feel like a thankless job. If you are feeling burnt out, overwhelmed, or annoyed by homemaking yourself, I hope that this video can offer you some encouragement today. There are some common frustrations that I hear over and over again, so I want to show you that with both a mindset shift and some small changes within your home, you can overcome each and every one of those hurdles and find peace within your walls. The first struggle that I want to mention is one that most people will run into at some point in their homemaking journey. I don't have enough time to get everything done. I feel like it's a losing battle. When I was a child, I used to hate it when my mom would say I needed to make time for something or other. Usually those words were in reference to a task that she wanted me to do, not one that I had personal aspirations for. We all have the same 24 hours in a day, and believe me, we will make time and accomplish the things that we set out to prioritize. That's the irony of this complaint. The question really is, are we trying to prioritize too much, or maybe the wrong things? You will notice that all of the clips in today's video are in real-time speed. The tasks you will see me working on took place over the course of about 4 hours during one single day, from about noon until 4 p.m. I edited them in this way on purpose. In some cleaning motivation videos on YouTube, and even some that I have created, everything is shown in 2 times, 4 times, or even 8 times speed. That's not real life. Though entertaining to watch, those types of videos may also give the viewer an unrealistic idea of what should be or could be accomplished. This video right here, this is an accurate representation. Slow and steady progress towards the things that I have prioritized for a single moment in time. Are you going to be able to prioritize everything every single day? Nope. There are plenty of tasks like deep cleaning the fridge or wiping down the baseboards that I attempt at a frequency of once a month and sometimes even less. You may be in a season of life where you have other things besides housework that need prioritizing. Your health, your career, or family. What then? Should you just let your home fall into complete chaos and disrepair? Well, no. I truly believe that doing so would make you even more stressed out and anxious. Instead, reach out for help. Perhaps it would be in your best interest to pay for a cleaning service for a short period of time. Before I move on to the next common frustration, I would be remiss if I didn't mention that if you don't feel like there are enough hours in a day, it might be time for a little honest auditing of your situation. Can you identify any time wasters? Have you been putting social media scrolling or TV watching above household chores? The basic takeaway here is to try and keep the mindset that you really do have enough time to get your priorities accomplished each day. And you also have the ability to choose the priorities for yourself. The second common complaint that I've seen is this. It is just old-fashioned and outdated to think that keeping a clean and tidy house is important. There are other things I can be doing that are much more significant. I want to challenge this mindset right off the bat by saying that multiple studies have proven a link between a messy or cluttered house and stress, sickness, and poor mental health. Simply put, the care you give to your house is directly correlated with the care you give yourself. I'd say that makes it pretty darn important. When people hear the word homemaking, they can sometimes get the vision in their head of a 1940s or 50s era housewife walking around with a feather duster in hand, making sure everything is spotless and that her husband's clothes are ironed in the morning and a hot meal is on the table when he arrives home from work. If that's the vision that you want to achieve, then I say go for it. For most people though, it probably isn't a realistic aspiration. If perfection is what you are seeking for in your home, you are likely to fail every single time. But giving up on housework altogether isn't a good plan to have either. This isn't an all or nothing venture. We can be hard on our homes. We track in dirt, we make scratches, smudges, dings, and dents. That all happens naturally, and, well, someone's going to have to clean it up. Because I show myself cleaning here on this channel, I will sometimes get criticized, or maybe I should say my family gets criticized, for making me do all of our house chores. People will say that I am being treated like a servant and that I do too much. But I like to flip that narrative around and say, I'm not a servant, I'm serving. My overall mindset towards homemaking is that it is an act of service. These are things that I am capable of doing and happy to help out with. And guess what? There are chores that my husband and children do around here that I'm not involved with at all. I can't remember the last time that I mowed the lawn, filled the water softener with salt, or cleared the table. And I have never once attempted to chop wood with an axe. The bulk of the house chores are under my control, yes, mostly because I choose to take them on. Instead of being resentful about that, I'm thankful to have a home and family to care for. So if you're having thoughts about wanting to do something that is important and makes a difference, then just turn your mindset around a little bit. When making the bed, think about how grateful you are to have a soft, comfortable spot to close your eyes. When sweeping up crumbs, recognize that you have enough food to eat. Those fingerprint smudges, they are left by children who were prayed for not so long ago. You see, a lot of our overwhelm has roots in how we respond or our mindset towards it. If you are able to take a step back and realize what the big picture is, you will find so much more peace. Frustration number 3. I feel like my home owns me and never gives anything back. The home should be our sanctuary and respite from the troubles of the outside world. If it isn't living up to that standard, you really need to ask yourself why that is. My guess, there is simply too much that you're trying to manage. I've talked before about the silent to-do list and how every single item in our homes needs attention from us. If we are faced with too many items vying for us, it's going to feel like all we ever do is put effort in. My tip to combat this problem: make your house only as difficult as it needs to be. Now, this can be accomplished in a couple different ways. First, assess the physical items that you surround yourself with. For example, if your table has 12 chairs, but you only use 4 on a regular basis, what is the point of keeping the extra 8 around? They'll just turn into something else you need to sweep around, move, and maintain. Those additional 8 chairs, though seemingly not a big deal, are making your home more difficult than it needs to be. Second, think carefully about the systems you have in place. Strive to make them as streamlined as they can possibly be. Is laundry all you ever seem to do when you're at home? Perhaps you could try a no-fold method, either in a basket or hanging clothes only, to eliminate the labor-intensive final step of folding. I mean, when you think about it, with the modern conveniences of washers and dryers, it's so easy to just pop the clothes in and walk away. It's really the folding that takes the effort. And there are plenty of house chores exactly like this. Try to streamline them as much as possible so that you don't have to put in all of that extra work. And finally, find a way to enjoy your home every single day. Again, your home should be a dependable and appreciated place. Don't let the only moment of enjoyment come when you lay your head down on your pillow at night. Cozy up on your couch and read a book. Light a candle to enjoy the warm glow in the evening hours. Stand by a window and appreciate the view that you have. During a storm, appreciate the protection and safety your home gives you. Your home is always giving back. Sometimes we just need to remove the excess in order to recognize that fact. And the final complaint I hear often that I want to share with you today is this: I'm just doing the same things over and over again. I get bored and annoyed with housework. Homemaking can really get a bad reputation because of how we feel about the work that we are doing. It seems like we need to do the same things over and over again, and I'll be honest, it can seem monotonous at times. It can feel like a merry-go-round, but to have that slow, steady, and predictable nature at home to counterbalance the roller coaster that life is, I appreciate it personally. Once things are manageable at home, I do think that it's easier to deal with that redundancy because there's a more clear idea of how long the tasks will take, and there is an end in sight, if only for a brief moment. So how can we get ourselves to be happy, or at the very least okay, with something that we are going to have to do, something we don't necessarily like to do? Well, all habits take time to form. The first way, kind of ironically, is to do them multiple times. Seems kind of silly that the very thing we complain about is actually part of how we can start to break the mindset of being bored and annoyed. The reason that it works? Confidence. The more you do something, the less brain power you actually need to put into it. Do you think about the chore of having to brush your teeth or hair in the morning? Probably not, because it's automatic. You've been doing it for years. Another trick to get yourself in the groove of homemaking is to pair the chores you find the most dull with something enjoyable or entertaining. I will never clean bathrooms without listening to music or a podcast anymore. I always say that I enjoy hand washing dishes, and I do, but it wasn't always that way. I know that there were many struggles growing up when I dug my heels in and resisted that very chore. But eventually, as an adult, I realized that if I saved my screen time until the end of the day, I could watch and wash at the same time. Now dishwashing time has become an enjoyable and anticipated part of my day. Finding ways to be productive while at the same time adding in those enjoyable moments is really quite effective. Thank you for coming along today as I cleaned my home. Maybe you were able to clean right alongside me as entertainment. I truly hope that the mindsets I shared with you today are encouraging, and that if you're feeling negative emotions toward your home, you can overcome them and find the joy in homemaking. Thank you so much for watching today's video, and I hope you'll stop by the cottage again really soon.